Hi guys, it's Kara, and as you can see, I have something I'm going to share with you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys have already seen these, and I am just late to the party, but if you are someone who likes the mini ink cubes like I do, then this is something you might be interested in. I actually stumbled across it on YouTube. Someone was showing a video of their mini ink pad storage, and this was what they were using, and I just had to have it. So I was lucky enough to track it down. It is a close to my heart product, and one of my wonderful online friends, Cheri, is a close to my heart representative, so she helped me figure out which size of these things to get and all that jazz. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. I have two of these. There are 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can get 40 mini ink pads per row. And I bought 2. Sorry about that glare. I haven't taken them out of the package yet. These are the pigment ink foam inserts, because I guess Close to My Heart also has their own little mini ink cubes that they sell. A lot of you I'm sure know that. And then here is the small little organizer that these 2 rows are hopefully going to fit in perfectly, where I'm going to organize a lot of my mini ink pads. So I am going to go off and do that now, and I will come back shortly and show you how it all worked out. Bye guys. Hey guys, it's Kara, and I'm back, as you can see, with my Close to My Heart organizer full, or mostly full, of my mini ink pads. Now, I have to admit a couple things. First off, I'm filming in natural light again today for this part, and it's very overcast, so I'm sorry if the lighting is a little bit off, but the reason I'm doing that is because when I use desk lighting, there's a huge glare off of this, and with the natural light, it's not quite as bad. So hopefully you can, bear with me on that one. And then the second thing is that although you're going to see I have a lot of mini ink cubes in here, I have to admit that this is not all of my mini ink cubes. I must have somewhat underestimated the number of ink cubes that I have, the little minis. I've kind of gone a little nutso with them apparently. But I have to say that over the past, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years, I've been slowly destashing a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong, I still have a large collection of crafty, as my husband would say, crafty crap. But I've gotten rid of a lot of things, and one of the things I got rid of was most of my full-sized ink pads. I just hated storing them. I couldn't figure out a way to do it in the way my room is set up, and so I got rid of a lot of them. So I do like the little mini ink pads for that reason, because I've really kind of used them to replace a large part of my full ink pad collection. So that being said, let me kind of review this little organizer and give you my thoughts on it. So first off, this is the small organizer, like I think I said in the first part, and you can see there's one of the foam inserts, and then there's another one right about here. So you can get 2 in here. Each foam insert will hold 40 mini ink pads. So this container will hold 80. I have like 71 in here, which I know sounds ridiculous, especially because I said don't have all of them in here, but it is what it is. You can see that they have these little cutouts on each side, which allows you to pick it up and show the underside of, or the next layer of ink pads, whatever you want to call it. Now I will say there is I think a medium-sized organizer where you could probably do more layers, but I was afraid that it would start to get really heavy. So I stuck with the small one, which again, I saw somebody on YouTube using. So if I can find that video, I will link it down below to give them a shout out, because they are the one that kind of put me on the trail for this thing. Now, I really do like this organizer, but there are a few things I want to point out for people in case you are thinking you want to get one. First off, these inserts are, I'm assuming, because it's Close to My Heart, made for their own little mini ink pads. I believe they have pigment ink in little mini cubes. And for me, what that means is that some of these little ink cubes are hard to get on the little insert. So if you see, let me hold this up to the camera. It's got like a little cutout, right? And so you have to kind of fit the ink pad in there. And some of them slide on super easily. Like, for example, this VersaFine one right here. All of the VersaFines or Versamark ones fit like they're just, it's made for it. So they must be very close in size to the Close to My Heart ones. But some of these others are not so easy to get on. They're very, you know, you have to shimmy it a little bit. You have to put a little force into it, a little pressure. It's not like it can't be done. It's not like it takes a long time. But I just want to mention to you that some of them are a very firm fit. So much so that when you move them, when you take them off, you can see that on the foam insert, you can see that little design, right? That is the bottom of the ink pad. So that's how tight of a fit some of these are. Now, for me, it's not a big deal. I mean, that's what these things are made for. I don't care if the insert's there. It's not like it's meant to be, you know, beautiful. It's meant to be functional. So for me, that's great. I just wanted to mention it. Another thing that I want to mention, which I think the lady in the video might have said, so I might be getting this from her, or I might have just, well, I know I figured it out when I was trying out the Tim Holtz ones in here, but I think she may have said it too. For those of you that have the Tim Holtz ones, you know that a lot of us like to store the round dauber foamy insert, whatever you want to call it, thing in the bottom of the ink pad for Tim Holtz. Little mini ink pads. You wouldn't be able to do that with this one because, you know, this little section here goes where that little foam piece would be. So I have all of my Tim Holtz mini ink pads in the metal tins that he and Ranger or whoever created. So, and they'll probably stay there because I like to keep the little foamy parts there. So they'll stay in that, which is fine. I do have, sad to say, or whatever, I have all 60 of those. So I will keep those in the little metal tins. And then I actually had two more tins. Yeah, two more tins of, what is that, 12 ink pads full of some Versa Magic, I think it is, Versa Magic ink pads that obviously don't fit in here. So at some point in my future, because I'm sure I will get more colors, I will be getting another one of these because I really do like the organizer. The other thing I wanted to mention, this reminded me, is in my little ink pads, some of them have tops that are on better than others. Like you can see that one just kind of comes off pretty easily. I think I was a little worried about that when I first started to put them in here, but when you have this closed and latched, which it has a really nice firm latch, which I'll show you, right? It's right here. It's one of those that this part comes off, right? So once you have that done, they're in there pretty firmly when you have two layers, right? So the lids don't really have any room to come off in this thing, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. If you were really concerned with it, I guess you could put all the ones that have looser lids on the bottom because those are definitely not coming off. But there's the organizer, and I'm really pleased with it. I do want to just mention a couple things in case people are, you know, interested in looking at it. I will put a link down below, like I think I've said, for my wonderful online friend who helped me get this. She's a representative for Close to My Heart. I'll put a link to her Close to My Heart website so you can check it out in case you're interested. But I do want to mention that this is definitely not what I would call an inexpensive storage method. Now, I didn't mind it because I knew I could put like 80 mini ink pads in here, but if you were someone on a budget or someone who is, you know, overly concerned about that, you should be aware of the prices of these things. So the box itself, the organizer itself, is the small organizer. It's $14.95, which I didn't think was bad. The medium one, should you want it, is, I believe, $19.95. The foam inserts each are $14.95. So you're doing the math, right? Now, because I live in Alaska, with Close to My Heart, shipping is a little bit higher than other places. So for me, that was another $14.95. So this whole ink pad storage system, including shipping, cost me just under $60. So that may not be something that everybody wants to do. Now I will say shipping, if you were in the 48 states, it's not going to be that expensive for you, I don't think. They do charge a little bit more because it's Alaska. not even going to comment on that. It's so annoying to me, but they're not the only company that does that. There are a lot of companies out there that view Alaska as like international shipping to a degree, but it is what it is. In this instance, because it was a larger item, I wasn't overly bothered by it. But typically I do factor in shipping when I'm purchasing from companies. So that being said, for those of you who are just maybe getting into mini ink pads, the Tim Holtz ones are available, and there's other storage options too that you could try. I like the fact that this one is so organized, they fit in place. This just appeals to my somewhat OCD brain. Part of it for me, I'll be honest, part of the fun of crafting and being artistic is organizing my supplies. I don't know if you guys understand that or not, if you're like me, but I love this thing. This appeals to the organizer in me. And for me, it was well worth the price. However, if you don't want to purchase this, then the Tim Holtz little mini, metal ones that hold 12 mini ink pads run full price, like online at Joann Fabrics for about $6.99. So this, for example, takes the place of just under 7 of those. So I would need 7 tins for one of these. Now, I didn't have all of these in tins yet, so that was a good thing, but I do have some empty tins. I'm gonna hold on to them because I'm hoping that eventually they'll get around to doing mini, what are those, the Tim Holtz oxides? That's what I'm hoping. So I'm holding on to those tins, because if that happens, I'm set. But anyway, they are $6.99 full price on Joann Fabrics, and that's just under 50 bucks for those. So, similar in price to this. Right now, Joann's is having a sale, and they're $4.19, which puts them just under $30. So that would mean it's about half the price. So it just kind of depends on how you want to store yours. I like the fact that if I want if I want to look at all the inks that I have, for the most part, they're all in one container. I can just take them down, and look at them. I don't have to have 4 or 5 or 6 or however many of those little tins laying around most of the time when I'm looking for these inks. So there you have it. Hopefully I have not rambled or confused you too terribly much. Basic bottom line for me is I felt that the price for this, for myself, was well worth it. I love the way it all fits in here, so nice and tidy and neat. It's gonna, just sit on my shelf when I'm not using it, and when I do want to use it, I can just, bring it out, put it to the side, and do whatever I'm doing while I'm using the ink pads. I think it's kind of an awesome little organizer. And I will eventually be buying another one. I just know I will, because I have more mini ink pads to put in here, about 24 more right now, and I'm sure I will get some more. So hopefully I've answered all your questions. Like I said, I'm going to put a link down below to Cheri's Close to My Heart, because she is one of their representatives and was super helpful to me and is just a hugely nice, kind lady. So, give her a little love if you want to get something from Close to My Heart, and check out her site. If you have any questions about this that I didn't answer for you in the video, please leave them below. And, of course, I'd love to get comments from you guys, get some feedback. Let me know if you'd like to, have me do like a little, ink comparison of all the ones that I have in here. There are a few more that I would like to try, a few more companies. If you saw some in here that I was missing, put that down below. I'd love to find out if there were more that I don't know about. And I think that's it, guys. Thanks again so much for taking the time to watch the video. And as always, I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. Bye, guys.